Spin that intro wheel roulette. Spin it.
Yeah,
DJ.
that's right, R2. I just set a new course. We're going to Cloud City. It's a mighty good gin and tonic. She makes me up another.
Impressive, now release your anger. You must have sensed that your friends are in danger.
Oh, I just sliced off my hand.
It's imperative that you understand. Obi-Wan would never bother. Tell me too about your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
Then there's something I must reveal. Then I'm your father. 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 I'm your father.
Knock him out the box, Luke. Knock him out. Knock him out the box, Luke. Knock him out. Knock him out the box, Luke. Knock him out. Knock him out the box, Luke. Knock him out. Knock him out the box, Luke.
Welcome to Films in Black and White, everybody. How are you all feeling? It is a great day to be with y'all. We are excited to be back with y'all. Took a week off. Very excited to be back with you. We've got some. You ever have that where like it's a rainy day outside and you got all this like cooped up energy because you were trapped in the house the day before? That's what this episode is going to be. It's going to be squirrely energy where like it's going to just be squirrely, like kind of like everywhere all at once energy, which is totally fine. Happy you all could be with us. Super excited to get into 2014's Nightcrawler. I included the date because quickly before we get into the movie, before we get into the rest of it, I was watching this last night with Brittany, and Brittany goes,
"Oh no!"
She was like, she liked it, like she didn't think it was bad, but
awesome.
But she goes, when was this? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I didn't look up anything about it. Like, I just watched it. And then, and then Bill Paxton shows up. She goes, he's dead. When was this?
Wait a minute. Hold on one second.
That man should be 6 feet under. What? This can't be recent. So
it looks like it also was shot in like 2009. So it's like, it doesn't seem like it was shot in 2014. And so that's also interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Got that vibe. But in order to do this right, in order to do it well, we need to kick it on over to Marcus J. Destin, a.k.a. Star Trek versus Star Wars politics.
I like it.
Marcus,
I like it.
I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? We had a week off. I'm here to pod. A lot of life has happened between. It's been a lot of shit that's happened in our week off, and it always goes like that. It's just been a busy week. It's been a lot of stuff at work, but good busy. We got about a month. I'm calling it like a month until everybody gets back to campus, and just kind of prepping for that. But it's like this is summer working as a full-time employee in student affairs. There was no break. Like it did not feel like a break at all. And it's so weird because this is the first time I felt like I did not get a summer break or it just flew by.
Right. Yeah.
So, but we're here. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm here to pod with my guys.
We are on this half of July 4th. Like that was, y'all, that was a week ago at this point. The 4th of July was a week ago, which is
with 5 days off, which also made it fly by.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. So
I'm here. My name is Star Trek versus Star Wars politics because I watched I am a fan of Star Trek. I like Star Trek. I used to watch. We've talked about this in earlier pods. I also am a fan of Star Wars. Growing up, it used to be Star Wars versus Star Trek with a lot of people. Like,
oh my gosh, yes,
it was very heavy, very intense. But I was watching both, and I think that the politics of both of these genres are just very interesting because they feel very different. Like you have Star Trek is the Federation and they have the money and they are boosting in the government to just send people into space on 5-year space missions and say, basically go discover, do new shit. And like, don't interfere in some instances. In some instances, you can't interfere. Like, we don't really have a lot of rules to this shit. Star Wars is a little bit more strict with their politics. So much so that it got corrupted.
Yeah, it does feel like Star Trek has this like European voyage vibe where it was like, hey, here's $10 million. There's a fucking new world out there. Go find it.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
dangerous because the history person is me is like, no, like they went out and like they gave people diseases. They just
Mhm.
had sex
Right.
with new things. Like
And
it
the
was
Federation,
it's
and the
just a
Federation
lot
is
happening.
always portrayed as the good pioneer. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my
like,
gosh.
and that's not always how
cold.
it is depicted.
Yeah,
It's
Which
not
yeah,
always
there's-
good.
which Star Trek did you watch? I'm
I
curious.
so I started by watching the one with Captain Picard with the Borgs. It was the one where
Okay.
he turned into a Borg. I can't remember the exact
Oh,
title
that's
right
so
now.
good.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched
Okay.
all of J.J. Abrams' Star Treks
God
with
damn.
Chris Pine,
Nice.
because
Nice.
I feel like that was an underrated fucking Star Trek series. Like it was
Yeah,
underappreciated
it was.
at the time.
It
I
was for sure.
agree.
So, but it was really good. It's really good, easy rewatch too, by the way. So,
Oh my gosh.
That's good. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear it. I love it. Marcus, anything you're excited about that you're reading, watching, or listening to?
oh, thank you for asking. You
welcome.
know what I'm really excited about listening wise? I'm really excited about some new Drake.
Okay.
Because he's on tour right now.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
same way
Yeah.
that there's the Taylor Swift fandom about her concert,
Yes, there
I'm
is.
getting the same feeling about the Drake concert. And I wish that I just had the money to attend it because his
Yes.
fucking production
Yes.
is ridiculous.
Okay.
I saw I don't know if you saw this, but I went down a TikTok rabbit hole and I saw
No.
the clip. I saw the clip of he has a hologram on
Yes.
stage of himself and it
Yeah.
hands
What?
him a book.
It's
Like,
very, we
what?
don't
Like,
I
I don't understand what I saw.
I honestly, I'm still trying to figure out if it's an actor because some say he hired an
Right.
actor. Some say it is a hologram. What I do know is he has a point in the song where he's on this big square platform of a stage, right? So whether you have the nosebleeds or
Right.
front row, you get a good seat, right? There's a part of this two things. He gets on the stage, he sings a song called Jaded. There's a part of the stage that rises, like one square of the big square that rises while he sings.
Huh.
And it rises like maybe 5 feet above the ground and then it goes back down. But then he has a giant statue of Virgil Abloh, who is like he passed away. He did all of the Off-White
Okay.
brand of
Okay.
God, what is it? Is it Gucci? So he was like a brand
Oh.
ambassador, like all that kind of stuff. This
Okay.
statue has an airplane in his hand, and during the concert, the airplane releases and it floats through the fucking stadium.
I'm sorry.
That's you have to watch it. So that's what I'm listening to is a lot more Drake because I just really want some Drake. Nothing. Little Uzi drop, but I wasn't a fan of that. As far as reading, I haven't. Oh, I am reading still Black Joy. I'm still reading that book and
Okay.
dissecting that book
Good stuff.
and watching. My Adventures of Superman, but I'll get to that later because I've already talked too much. So yeah,
Yeah. None of this concert is close. There is
Nope.
nothing.
There's
close.
the one in
It's
Denver.
like, hey,
Denver is the
would you
closest one.
would you like to go to Inglewood?
It's
Like,
I'm so pissed. I'm so mad, y'all, because there's one in Colorado, like in September, I think.
Yeah.
And I am contemplating just spending. It's like $200, $300 a ticket, though.
It's I
Yeah,
feel like
Friday,
all
September 8th.
concerts. Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like all concerts are like out of control right
Just
now.
out
And
of
I
control.
understand like capitalism. Like we haven't had concerts for 3 years, so everybody wants to do one. I get it. It's still outrageous to me.
It's too
it does
much.
feel a little spendy.
Too much.
There's a concert that I want to go to, and there's one
Mm.
that's playing in Minneapolis that I really want to go to, but it's just a really bad time.
Ooh, what is that?
Killer Mike's playing First Ave, which is a really intimate
Oh.
theater in Minneapolis on July 24th. And there's a part of me
Wow.
that's like, hey, Britt, I know I was going to be gone a week before, but could I go? Like, it's just,
It's Killer Mike.
yeah, I
Ooh.
would. And here's the thing. First Ave is, as far as a concert venue, is so,
Yeah.
it's not a big hall. Like, it's an intimate space of maybe 400 people.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
and it would be a really cool show.
July
to see.
24. Keep me posted, Dougie.
I will absolutely keep you posted.
Keep me posted.
Brian, aka
Brian
Brian Roush,
hey
aka
there.
Big Psy, Taylor's version. Brian, how are you, sir?
You know what? I'm great. I am a little fatigued, but I'm good. It's been a really big week for
Okay.
us too. It was really funny when Marcus was like, "We took a week off, and it feels like life happened." That's exactly how I feel.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a bunch of work finished. If you've been listening to the pod the past 3 months, Had some stuff happen to my lower level. We had some flooding. That all just got
Of his
figured
house,
out.
not like his body.
Not my body, no, my house. And we just got that space put back together. And like that just finished the Monday before 4th of July. And then we hosted people. And then and then I had some stuff for work. So it's been busy. It's been busy here.
It looks good though, Brian. Like,
It does. It looks really
good.
The picture you
It
sent
looks
over, I
really
was
good.
like, man, that's gonna be a great like spot.
I appreciate that. Our goal with that was like, okay, pretend we have 3 teenage boys instead of 3 boys 6
Ooh,
and under.
thinking ahead,
And
yes.
Yes.
we were trying, so I was like, let's get a couch that can fit 3 teenage boys at the very least. So right now it looks like we have way too much space, but I know in like 6 to 7 years it's going to be like these kids, their feet in my face.
Brian,
but,
I love that y'all thought ahead because I feel like a lot of people don't do that type of thinking.
don't.
It's a lot of in the moment decisions.
Yeah.
And just that little thing, like thinking of a couch 6 years in advance, is so smart to me.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. And honestly, it was just that's part of the reason why this whole project was so tiring, because it was like, well, no, if we're going to do it, we got to think like more than just right now. So like that's why it looks the way it does. It looks like HGTV came in and did stuff because it's also my wife. So like she's the interior designer trying to think like just all that stuff. So yeah, that finally got put back together, which was good. thelovenerds.com if you want to see all of my wife's projects.
All for work.
Maggie's wonderful. That's where I got to watch Nightcrawler. That was my inaugural movie back in the space.
Yeah,
So
that was the champagne on that ship. I love it.
Pretty much, which it was super weird. And I was like, this feels right. This is a super weird movie. Before it gets away from me though, what am I reading, watching, listening? I finished my fantasy series.
All right.
I know that's all done. Court of Silver Flames concludes.
No more courts.
No more courts.
You're courtless now.
That's the last book, Brian.
That's the last book that's been published. She's gonna write another one probably. But the High Fae realm, they're done for now. I'm leaving. So now I'm reading some really weird.
Leaving.
I'm leaving. I'm reading some weird and wonderful sci-fi called This Is How You Lose the Time War. And it's basically about these 2 agents that are going through time and messing with it for their own side. And then they start writing love letters to each other. And that's the book. And it's incredible. Like I didn't think when I first understood what the book was, I was like, this may not be for me. And now I'm like, I'd say like almost done with the book, and I'm just like, oh no, I hope everybody lives. I hope these 2 time agents don't kill each other.
I love that.
Yeah, it like if you saw Multiverse of Madness and you're like, I need more, this is a good book for you.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. And there's like a Romeo Juliet vibe to it. Yeah, and what am I watching? I'm watching Picard. I'm halfway through that series.
How is that? How is that?
It's very good. And Marcus, it was funny because when you were talking about that, Picard kind of gets into like the seedy stuff of Starfleet. I think is the best way for me to put it. And so you might like it. But it is a show. I know how you feel about shows, and it does take a minute to get up to speed. But it does get into like, is Starfleet all knowing, all good? And then I'm watching Breaking Bad. I'm on the last season of Breaking Bad. I have like 6 episodes left.
God damn, Brian.
It's a good show.
Quick.
That's really quick.
It's such a good show. I could talk about it forever. And then when I finish the Breaking Bad, I have the last 4 episodes of Better Call Saul. So like I'm almost there.
You got a lot.
Pumped.
Yeah, man.
I got 11 episodes of magnificent TV, and as my subtitle on my live stream title may tell you, I am listening to some Taylor Swift. I'm listening to the new album. Well, not new, but she re-released an album called Speak now. So I've been listening to that. I've been listening to the Fall Out Boy collab with her, and that's good. I like it. I'm an easy mark for that. But other than that, I've been listening to The Hives, and because they have a new album coming out this fall. And then lastly, I've been listening to the Barbie soundtrack, specifically Speed Drive by Charlie XCX. So I
heard it was good. I heard that the Barbie album soundtrack was good.
I haven't I haven't met a song that isn't a banger so
Okay.
far. Like
Okay.
it's great for workouts. It's really good for we were having some folks outside and put on some music. It's good.
I knew I'm calling it now. Barbie is going to be probably movie of the summer.
I think it's the one everyone's going to talk about
because I toss a lot of that too. No MCU major movie dropping. Secret Invasion, it doesn't have enough steam yet, but there's a reason for that.
Yep.
Because people don't have the patience, but that's just a different topic at a different
Oh
day.
my gosh.
It's just a different day.
That's
But
a
this
subject
is
for another episode.
Probably one of the better series from the MCU and projects altogether for me.
Yes.
No, I agree.
But that's interesting. You said that, Brian. That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
here we go. My guy Doug Wagner yucking everyone's yum. Talk to me. How you feeling, big dog?
Where are you at?
It's been a weird 5 days.
Yeah.
It's been a real weird 5 days. So let's get the weird announcement out first. I want to shout out Marcus just really quickly.
Yeah.
Because
good one to shout out.
Because Brittany had we had some health stuff. We had to go to the emergency room, and I called Marcus at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, hey, I gotta take Brittany to the emergency room. Can you come just be at the house so the kids, if they wake up, they're fine? He came over, was here 2 seconds. So I just huge shout out for being just an awesome friend. Really appreciate it. Also, I didn't realize my kids have never woken up with a person of a different color in my house. So I was very curious how this was going to go.
You know, that was the thing that scared the shit out of me, was scaring the kids. I was in the chair opposite to the hallway that their rooms are in. So when they walk in, they're walking to this big black man in a black hoodie.
Yeah, because I was sitting in the emergency room with Brittany, and she was, because here's the thing, she had a really bad migraine. She had fucking world was on fire inside of my brain style migraine. And for those who have had those, they are awful. And so she's fine now. Everything's okay now.
Good.
But in the moment, in that all day Thursday, we had to go to the emergency room twice. But so we got her there. We came back. And I kind of after she was lying down, kids were at school, at Boys and Girls Club daycare or whatever. I had this thought. I was like, thank God they didn't wake up. What the fuck would that have been? Legitimately, because I was they probably would have just said oh, Marcus, you're here. But and it would have depended. If Harrison would have woken up, it would have been fine. Harper would have woken up. You never know what you're going to get because she is hot and cold.
50-50. Me and Harper, we are good. But it's always 50-50. Sometimes she was give me a hug directly.
Sometimes she's maybe not. Yeah.
She's
playing hard to
get. Gotta feel it.
It was also hard for me because I was if they come around, if they wake up and they see me, that's one thing. If they ask me, where's mom and dad? I have no idea of how do you explain this? What do you say? What don't you say? And so I was a little nervous about that too, but it all worked out.
Yeah, it was totally fine. And I, huge shout out for helping out.
It was never
wow.
Doug's phone call was the only phone call I'd answer at 3 a.m. because as soon as his name popped up, I said,
"Oh man,
shit."
Yep, something happens.
Yeah,
because I don't call a lot.
Nope.
And so if I'm calling you, either I really want to talk to you, or something may be either my body or something else might be on fire. And I've decided that this is the phone call I have. And then the other weird thing is I've been eating a lot of fruit and I'm shitting out whole berries. And I don't know what's happening, but you ever have that moment where you look down after all said and done, you've done your business and you're like, oh, that's interesting. There was a whole blueberry in there. And I was like, okay, I know I chew my food. What are you doing there? It's it's just, you looked at it and you're like, you don't belong there. What's happening? So that's been a good summation of the past 5 days for me.
Well, you made it.
I made it, y'all. Everybody's okay. And then on top of that, today was just one of those days where just shit was setting me off. That's why it's yucking everybody's
Go ahead.
yum.
Talk about
Do it.
I mean, I keep the Taylor Swift stuff, I don't know why it's getting to me, but it is. I don't know why this woman bothers me so much that it just does. And then so there was that, and Brian came at me hard
I mean, a
today.
little bit.
He fought back. He pushed back.
Brian was like,
thank you.
Brian was like, "You shall not pass." Like, I'm over this. And I also saw a tweet that was like, Taylor Swift writes music for people who haven't gotten over anything in their life ever. And I was like, hey, that's fucking hilarious.
No, that is funny. That is legit funny.
And then I listened to the song about Ken from Barbie, which set me off on a whole like, oh, this movie's a fucking musical. Good. Like the song was fine. I just don't know if I have the patience for a musical, everybody. I don't know. I don't know what era.
Roman Myers said, "What era are you feeling like today?"
What?
Doug?
Yeah, what era are you in?
What
Doug?
era are you?
What eras does she have? Does she not understand what an era is? An era is a long time.
You know what I think the problem is? I think you don't understand what an era is. And
no,
like she has survived and lived all these eras.
I very much understand what an era is, and an era in terms of things. That's exactly what it is. It's almost like it's a big moment. And this motherfucker has like 8 of them. And I'm like, how does she have so many eras?
She's younger than us.
You
I know.
understand
I get
that
it.
we talk about when people were able to like manipulate metal into bronze. We call that the Bronze Age. That was a moment. And she's like, today, a relationship.
You're gonna give her ideas, man. The next tour is the Ages tour.
Oh, god damn it.
Okay, let me say this real quick.
She's the reason we're gonna break up.
After Witness.
And we'll never, ever get back together.
Fuck you, Brian.
Like, it's simply enchanted. Okay.
That was perfect. I'm not adding nothing else to that. That was great.
That was well done. But,
awesome.
But I am not here. Broadly speaking, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. But today it was just under my skin today.
I could tell it was getting to you more. I promise I'm not going to needle you with my Taylor Swift.
You could have.
No, I mean I feel like we had a good volley there.
After witnessing this Drake concert, I get it.
Yes.
Because if you send me to a Drake concert and he's performing the fucking hits from beginning to end, I understand. Now, the vibe is very different there. I'm not wearing friendship bracelets and, glitter and stuff like that, but it's the same kind of vibe now. I would be turned up at a Drake concert.
I also, here's the other thing I'm going to say. I also, because I was just going to pivot into what am I reading, watching lately. Nothing. Like, I'm not reading, watching, or listening to anything. And so I've kind of like put everything on a shelf. Like, it just feels like the past 3 weeks for me. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. And so it's like, I'm in this weird, like, if purgatory were a time frame in the summer, it would be right now, because it was the first week in July, we traveled. July 4th weekend, we traveled. On Saturday, I go to Nashville for a conference for a week. So I am here for right now.
Yes.
Like for right
You're
now.
a traveling man. I get
exactly.
it.
I'm everywhere. And so
Papa was a Rolling Stone.
So I don't feel like where I'm at. So it's like someone was like, "Hey, do you want to go?" Doug, you can go to any concert. Like any. You can go to anyone. Which one is it? Big. I don't know who's playing. Like, I'm treating it like I'm ready to go to a movie. Like, I don't know who's playing. Like, should we go to that one?
You can't do that with a concert. I'm sorry.
Right.
I don't think you can do that with a concert.
Well, exactly right. And that's my thing is it's like, it's just not, I love so much that people are living the best moment in their lives to date through this one event. I really am. Like, I'm so happy for them. But for me, it's like, it's pure jealousy. It's like, I am so happy you have this like one moment that's like a crowning achievement.
Okay.
I wish I knew where I was.
Okay. I understand that, especially in this moment, like this moment, not knowing where you are. I think that's fine. And I think you have to have spaces where you step back, you take a break, and you don't need to consume anything because you're kind of overstimulated and overwhelmed. And like, that's perfectly fine.
Oh, for sure.
What I would
I
compare it
struggle
to
with. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
no, go ahead, Brian.
No, I struggle doing that. So, Doug,
Mhm.
hats off to you.
And if
Yeah.
you don't do it for yourself, I am a firm believer something will sit your ass down and make sure you don't do it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the other part is it may not be concerts, but I definitely have seen you at the Comic-Con and like at a comic book
Oh,
store.
that's my vibe.
And
Yeah.
like that is the same era vibe. Like I know the Taylor Swift
It
shit
is
is
my- it
funny to
is,
me.
yeah. It
And
is.
it's kind of more overstimulating, but not annoying really, because all of my followers from South Dakota seem like they made it to that Taylor Swift concert. So it ends up
Somewhere.
in my feed.
Somewhere.
Oh,
They either
wow.
went to the one in Kansas City, or they flew out to New York,
Minnesota,
or they went
or
to
they
Minneapolis.
yes, they
Yeah.
found a way to get to that concert. And for me, I'm
Yeah,
like,
they did.
I dig it. Like if you're gonna invest and you find something that you like, you gotta just
Go for it, man.
you gotta
Gotta
go
do
for
it.
that shit.
You gotta do
Even
it.
if it
Yeah.
annoys somebody, like you just gotta go for that shit. And like it's funny to joke about it because I'm funny, like haha. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, I do get it. I do understand
It's
y'all.
funny that something so stupid would set me off. Like I think it's funny to me that's like, hey, what really grinds your gears? Fucking Taylor Swift, man. Like of all the things, you mean to tell me in the life and times where the world is on fire because of governments, that's the thing that sets you off. That's the thing that's like, hey, sit down. Let me tell you why that's terrible.
Because it
Are
should
you,
feel
Doug, are you talking about capitalism? No, I want to tell you about Taylor Swift in like 5 minutes. Like it's so stupid.
but it should feel like it kind of feels like a guilty pleasure that you shouldn't be having that much
yeah.
excitement about Taylor Swift when the world is on fire. But it's like two things can exist at once. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
It,
so
it cannot be for
yeah.
you.
It
Like,
cannot,
yeah.
and everything ain't
Yeah.
for everybody,
Oh,
and that's okay.
1000%.
And that's all
I will
right.
say this. I did finally catch up on episode 3 of Secret Wars.
Oh, good.
Oh,
And
there you
that's
go.
very good. Like
That's a-
that.
yeah.
There
It's a
are
good show.
Good show.
I love the fact that Samuel L. Jackson was like, no, there's gonna be like more black people in this.
Yeah.
Like there has to
He
be.
did.
The conversation between him and Don Cheadle was
Yes.
fantastic. The conversation between
Yes.
him and his wife? Question mark?
think?
Like maybe?
The way they was kissing, I want to say yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, spoilers up to this point for
Yeah,
Secret
let's just talk about
Invasion
Secret Wars real
was-
quick.
Yeah, like his wife, or I mean his booty call, his
Something.
scroll
He
version
put his
booty
tongue
call.
down her mouth.
Like
I don't know what that was.
yeah,
I saw
mean
that in the kitchen.
yeah. I mean,
I think they
what
were
do you know-
married.
you know how they say like some people, this is a terrible and awful derogatory term, but people who are into like Asian Americans, they say they have yellow fever. What do you say when you're into aliens? Is it green fever? Is it what is it? Like what is it? Does anybody know? I am acknowledging that that's not an okay thing to say, but I didn't know how to say it otherwise. Does that count, or do I need to sit down for a minute? What is it? I mean,
I don't know.
I-
I'm thrown off by the shit you said. I don't know. And you're right, because there's jungle fever. Black people there's
again,
jungle fever.
not an
That
okay. I mean,
exists.
I'm not gonna
Not
walk
an
around
okay
the street
phrase.
and be like,
Yeah.
"Hey," I'm not gonna
I
be.
don't know what is scrolly fever. I don't know. Like
Green
I don't.
fever?
It's green. I don't know.
Great. Scroll fever. Scroll fever.
Scroll
could get
fever
there.
would be okay.
Scroll fever. I feel like that's fine.
Scroll
Don't
fever
look for
would
the
be okay.
derogatory fever version. Just look for just call
I
them
like
what they are.
I like it's like let me make this as offensive as possible.
Brian and I just froze.
Yeah, y'all didn't know where I was going with that, and that's the kind of podcast that this is gonna be.
That's good.
This one's
that's
really this one's gonna be it.
I do think Captain Kirk fever.
That's a good question. That's a great question.
Captain Kirk
like that.
fever is
E.T.
Yeah,
probably
because
the
that is-
best one.
James, let me tell y'all a motherfucking thing about James Tiberius Kirk. That is
Mhm.
one smooth opera.
Oh
Especially
yeah.
Chris Pine has proved himself to be 1A of
Yes.
the best Chris's. I will also say Chris Hemsworth
Yes.
is 1B of the best Chris's.
Yeah.
Right. I watched
Pine,
Attraction 2.
Hemsworth, Pratt.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's
I
another
mean,
Chris in there too. but
Evans is above
Evans.
Pratt.
Evans
It-
is
Oh
in-
yeah.
Actually,
Evans and
okay, it goes-
Hemsworth switch for me.
That's
But
true.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
I would go 1A Chris Pine, 1B Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, then Chris Pratt.
oh, Chris Pine to me is just he's top tier. He's just
That's
so neat.
Different
Man,
human
he
being.
really
I
is.
had a itch after I finished Star Wars to watch more shit that I rewatched
Yeah.
Was that
Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit twice because I was just
Wow.
like, I
All right.
enjoy shit that he's in.
Right? He's magnetic. Yeah.
He's just good. Secret Wars is fantastic.
It's very good.
Episode 3 is just it's a show that's meant to be rewatched. I did tweet this. I think they made
Mhm.
this for you to go back and rewatch it. Not for the
Yeah.
sake of I enjoyed it so much, but for you to catch what you missed. And that's what I like
Yes.
about the series a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that honestly, it really does feel like the best spy show like nobody's
Mhm.
watching right now.
Mhm.
And I enjoy the fact that there are nuggets, if you're paying attention, that relate back to other episodes. And you can't,
God.
it is so paranoia inducing, which
Yes.
I love about it. Like
Mhm.
the only
Yeah.
person in that show that I really trust is Samuel Jackson, which I think is the perfect way to go about it. I think
Yeah.
that is the best way to do this show. And it was funny. After episode 2, I was like, man, should I put in the chat that I think Secret Invasion is a black show? And I was like, no. It's been 2 episodes. You, Roush, you need to like hold on.
Calm down, Brian.
But then like the 3rd episode happened, I'm like, Sam
black.
Jackson made this a black show, and it's probably one of the best things to happen to a Marvel thing.
Because
Like,
then they
easily.
had the whole conversation about why weren't we in Wakanda Forever or why weren't we in Black Panther? And
Right.
in my mind, I was like, that's a great question.
Mhm.
And I think it's when you I don't want to make this that part of the pod, but sorry, Roman Myers, we might have to catch that quotable again this week. But when you don't really understand what Black Panther is or give somebody the freedom to make it what it should be, which is if there is a Wakanda in the MCU and you don't think Nick Fury and you don't have a scene like the shawarma scene in Avengers 1 with just all of the black people just kicking
Hanging
it
out.
like, yo, like I can't believe we had to save the world. Yo, this shit is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yo,
Mhm.
Tony Stark crazy billionaire white ass is like tripping right now. Like I feel like those
Yeah.
moments should be happening more. Sorry.
Well, and I think the other thing that I liked about that conversation between Rhodey and Nick Fury
Right.
was they said something to each other that no one else to this point has said, which was we had to fight so much harder to get at this table
Yep.
because
Yeah.
up until this point throughout the
Black to
MCU, they were just there. And
Yeah.
it's like almost as if like in the MCU, institutional racism just wasn't a thing.
Mhm.
But then what they
Yes.
said
Mhm.
in that moment is like, nope, you know how hard I had to get, how I had to fight to get here. And that acknowledgement, just that like 1 second was like, oh no,
It
this
does
is
exist.
the
And-
world we all live in.
Yeah.
And probably had to fight, only got to the positions they were in because they were Avengers. Like,
Right.
if they
Right.
didn't do that thing, if Rhodey never became War Machine, would
Yeah.
he be as high, or Scroll Rhodey, whatever it is that because they
Yeah,
did
good
kind
question.
of hint at
Yeah.
that. But would you be as high as you are? Nick Fury had to work his ass off to get to that point, but would he be as high as he is? So I just think that
That's a
that's
great
interesting.
question.
I also think there's 2 Nick Furies, by the way.
I also think there are 2 Nick Furies.
Yes.
There's I
one
think
wears
someone-
glasses. One wears glasses all the time, but then there was one
Okay.
time on the mission where they didn't wear glasses. Then there's one time he was wearing glasses when he didn't need to. The other thing that got me was
Huh.
when he sees Talos for the first time,
Yeah.
the head-to-head thing. That was something that I
Huh.
felt like I seen with couples as Skrulls, but not necessarily. I
That's a
never
good
saw Nick Fury
point.
do that in Captain Marvel.
Also,
I
this
did-
motherfucker is everywhere. Like he's,
He's
in
everywhere.
Russia,
He is.
he's in London,
everywhere.
he's in like
Yeah.
he's everywhere. That's
Motherfucker, when I'm out,
too-
I'm in. Like that's what he
Right.
said.
yeah, yeah, he's
I-
everywhere.
Well, and the other thing about that too is that the Rhodes part that they're referring to is that
Mhm.
Sam Jackson as Nick Fury says nobody calls me Nick. Nobody calls me
calls him
Nick.
Nick.
And
Mhm.
James Rhodes, or who we think is James Rhodes, calls him Nick, and
Yeah.
Fury doesn't react to it. So at that point, does he know that Rhodey isn't Rhodey and he's just trying to get out, or
Yeah.
XYZ? So like I wanted to clear that up. I also enjoyed the dig at Alexander Pierce of him just
Yep.
being this like example of white mediocrity. And I
Yes.
love Alexander Pierce slander. Absolutely love it. Phenomenal. More of that, please. And I just man, it's a good spy show. Like I think that's the
Yeah,
other thing
it
people
really
are
is.
missing about it is like this could be Alias without the aliens. Like this could easily, insert your opposing force. Like this, it doesn't need to be Skrulls, and I think that's one of the things about this that makes the show so compelling. So
And the goddamn villain, the goddamn lead antagonist, he's
Yup.
not fucking around. You know what I mean? Like he is
No.
not also black. And so I enjoy
Yes.
for me representation. I don't give a fuck what they tell you in the news and in propaganda and the government and people who run on culture war politics when they want to go
or
run for
Taylor
some shit.
Swift, loop
Right.
her in there.
Or what
Hey, you
Just
you
make
leave her
sure
out of
she's
this.
included.
I feel like I used to think she was racist, but she might not be. I can't really call it.
No,
after the
she's-
Kanye West thing, I was like, is she?
I get it.
She sings country music, so
Not anymore. She's a pop star now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
love-
she left that behind.
I actually like her country music.
Do
I
you-
prefer
hey,
it
hey,
over
Brian,
the pop
Brian,
song.
Okay.
Brian,
Yeah.
do you
What's
ever
up?
really leave it behind? Come on.
I mean,
Privately to yourself.
Anyway, like I was saying, I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, I enjoy the fucking show. I think it's only 6 episodes, so we are at the halfway point.
Yeah.
New episodes come out when?
Wednesdays. And the actor's name is Kingsley Ben Adir, and he is also in Barbie, and he is in Bob Marley.
He was also in One Night in Miami. He played Malcolm X.
I was just about to ask, was he Malcolm? Jeez.
He was Malcolm X.
Yeah.
He's about to have a moment then.
I hope he does not have a Jonathan Majors type of moment. I need him to keep his nose clean and keep his hands to himself. Possibly, allegedly. I don't know which way that thing is
Nobody
going.
knows.
The mouse is working very hard over there on that case. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
that
he's
whole
putting
thing
in the
done
work,
flipped
for sure.
and switched.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, Secret Invasion, if you're not watching it,
Watch
like,
it.
it's good.
It's a treat.
It's good, and nobody's watching it. So
It's a
you got a
treat,
gem.
for sure. Let's do quick catch that quotable, shall we?
for
Because
sure.
we've skipped it. We got to include
right.
it.
Well, we'll do
before we get into stuff.
Express. All right.
Yes, it's an express version. So we got to play catch that quotable.
Catch that quotable.
Quick version.
Quickly.
You all ready? Let's just do it. Okay.
Hit me.
Here we go. Pooh, you've got to help me. Something's wrong with Piglet. He killed my wife.
Oh, that's the horror movie version of
See, we didn't even need a timer.
Winnie the Pooh, Honey and Blood or some shit like that.
Blood and Honey. You got it.
Blood.
What? Wow.
Blood and
Don't
Honey.
give me a
You got
wow. That was kind of easy. That was kind of like
hey, way to do the quick version. That fucking
you
nailed
said
it.
you wanted it fast forward. I gave you fast forward. Yeah, I did it.
Marcus was like, "This is the moment. We're down 1-0 in the bottom of the night with 2
Right?
outs, nobody on. Home
Come
run.
on.
I can handle this.
I'm done. I want to be done.
Yeah,
I want to be done.
We got too much shit to go on. I know that one. Blood and Honey.
Well, that's what it is.
Wow.
So there
Okay.
you go.
Welcome back.
Wow.
Welcome
Blood and
back.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Also, that movie looks unhinged. Like I don't even know.
Yeah, I'd watch
like,
it.
There's a moment of me that like I want to watch it just because of how insane it is. But
Yeah.
Well, they're doing the Grinch version, and then
They
they're
are
also
doing the
doing
Grinch.
a rated R Barney version. I've heard with Daniel Kaluuya is supposed to be in that
Jesus.
version, in the Barney movie, horror movie style. I don't know
Wow.
exactly what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, what is that? It's called The Mean One, and it came out. Oh, Marcus, it's not. They're doing it. They've done it. The Mean One came out in 2022.
Oh damn!
Oh wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
don't put that on the Patreon list. I'm not watching it
I also am not going to watch
because
it. However,
that's terrifying. Winnie the Pooh is one thing, but a scary Grinch movie, the motherfucker's already scary.
I agree. I kind of pulled back a little bit because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you
I
guys,
don't know if I
this
need that.
this is the reviews for this are great.
Oh,
The
Good.
Google reviews for the Mean One is actually deserves an Oscar. This movie has changed me. I am forever changed and can sleep at night knowing that this movie is out there. Amazing, terrific, absolutely loved it.
I hate.
You,
I
you
hate
scroll 2 down. This was the lousiest movie ever. I really, 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 really hate they've made a movie based on Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch
Man.
Stole Christmas. So inappropriate for children. All right, hold on.
It's not for children.
It's
Can-
not
hold
for
on.
Why
children.
does everybody think everything is for kids?
Yep.
Everything is drag
Yep.
shows. Like, why does everybody go to that first? They always
Yeah.
say the kids, the kids, the kids. You can control what your kids see and can't see.
True.
That's
They're
your
not, like-
responsibility as a damn parent. I'm not making shit for me to make the decision that you should watch it. I didn't make this shit with your kids in mind.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There you go.
Y'all getting on my goddamn nerves. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then you got to add in that Taylor Swift just re-released an
Look at you.
album from 15 years ago and changed like
Okay,
3
wait.
things.
She had to re-release her album because she got her master stolen by Scooter Braun, and he
Yep.
sold her masters. So she
Yep.
had to go and recreate all of her projects and re-release them under her own right. So that it's kind of it's not kind of, it's a fucked up situation. Somebody else
Yeah.
owned her masters and sold it.
I retract my previous statement.
Yeah, yeah.
Retract.
That's the only I
Yeah,
respect that
retract.
part
Let me-
because
let me
as an
take it out.
artist, it's hard to
Over here.
fucking imagine going and investing in some music that you made years ago as a young person
Right.
in the game. Somebody takes full advantage of that shit. They sell your shit, and
I
the
mean-
only result is to re-record and resell.
Right.
I also, if it were this podcast, I'd be fucking livid. So
It
like
would-
I
oh,
can
yes, as
I can
creators, for
only
sure.
imagine. Like as
Yeah.
a creator, that would set me off.
God damn it!
So,
You
yeah.
make me this. I hate when this happens.
I
I
was
have to
gonna
become
say-
the self-defense person.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happens with
Welcome.
Zack Snyder, Taylor
welcome.
Swift. I don't get it.
Welcome. Guys, I am
I
in
like
my
Taylor Swift. I love Zack
I'm
Snyder
in
as
my-
a director.
I'm in my Lex Luthor era right now.
Okay.
That is where I am.
I'm gonna. Keep
I have
going.
taken Superman and I have made him do his worst thing
I
ever.
got you. Can we just keep going to reviews because I want to kind of
Yeah, let's do it. Should we do reviews
Um,
or you want to do movie?
Are we jumping into Nightcrawler?
Let's
Or are we
yeah,
doing-
let's go into the movie.
Let's do movie. Okay, so we watched 2014's 2014's. We watched 2014's Nightcrawler, starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Big Gyllenhaal.
This we're just I'm gonna give you barbershop because I want to, and that's who I am. I'm
Take
gonna
it
do
away.
it. What had
Okay.
happened was this dude doesn't have a job. He's looking for a job. He sees a guy who's like recording like bloody stuff at the at
Like
accidents
at
and
an
shit.
accent scene.
And
yeah.
basically he's like, what if I just did that like all the time? The problem is that this guy's a little like obsessive. Like he's got some OCD components to him where he's like, no, this is who I am as a human being. Like right now, this is everything. And so he memorizes all of it. And basically that's it. Like that. I mean, he's a guy who's chasing down accidents for the local news.
Yep.
He manipulates Rene Russo into sex.
Yes.
Did they actually have sex?
Confirmed.
I couldn't.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly
yes, they-
sure.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
one line. It's a throwaway line, but yeah, it's implied.
Oh, the thing that I asked you to do at the house, you didn't. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And then
You have a good
she also
memory. Yeah.
she also says something like in the studio. She's like, "I want what you promised me." And I remember when they were in the restaurant, he was like, "Well, if you fuck me, I promise you'll get your ratings."
Yeah.
So there's also that too. So I was like, question mark. So he's kind of like a not great dude, and now he's doing stuff for the local news. So
Yes. Yes.
there you go.
Pretty solid. He
Yeah.
also killed a cop in the beginning, and we never heard anything else.
Oh
about
yeah, no, he straight up murdered a
Oh yeah.
security guard.
Well,
I think he died,
funny
right?
that he
mean-
opens and he's like, "Oh wait, you're private security," and it's like you see the mental shift in
Yeah.
his brain being like,
Yep.
"Oh, you're not a police officer.
Mhm.
I can
Yeah.
kill you." And
Yeah.
then he takes his watch and then he wears that
Where's
watch,
the watch at the end?
the whole movie.
Yeah, which was
Yeah.
crazy as shit.
It is very
Yeah.
crazy. So that's the movie in a nutshell.
Yeah, for sure.
This movie stars Jake Gyllenhaal as
Heck
Louis Bloom, Rene Russo as Nina Romina. Really? Yeah, Romina. Yeah. Bill
Yeah.
Paxton, rest in peace. Joe Loader, Riz Ahmed
That
from
is Riz Ahmed.
from
I
all sorts of
knew it.
Star Wars stuff.
Rogue One.
Yep, Rogue One. Also from whatever that show is, Obi-Wan. No, that's not it.
Wasn't he in Deadpool too?
No, I don't think
Now I
so.
feel bad because I just said, okay, my bad. Hold on.
Hold on. I'll look him up. I'm gonna see all the things he's in because he's been in a lot. He's awesome. He's a
Yeah.
person. He was in The Sound of Metal. He was
Venom.
In
He was in Venom.
Yeah, he was in Venom.
Oh, he's
He
in
was
Venom. Yeah.
in what else was he in?
He was in Encounter, The Long Goodbye, Jason Bourne.
Yep.
The Sisters Brothers.
Rogue One.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's been in a lot of. He's been in a lot actually.
He's been in a lot. He's been in
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. So yeah, Riz Ahmed, and let's go back one. And that's pretty much it, to be honest with you. There's a couple other guys in there that are really quick, like Marco Rodriguez. He played the scrap metal owner, but other than that, that's kind of it. Like it's kind of like that's pretty much it.
Low-key cast.
This movie was written and directed by Dan Gilroy, and Dan Gilroy has done some pretty cool stuff. He did 3 episodes of Andor. He did Kong Skull Island. He did The Bourne Legacy. He did Real Steel. He did Roman J. Israel Esquire, which is that lawyer movie starring Denzel Washington. So like he's done some good stuff.
Man. Yeah. He did the Andor arc of when they do the heist. I feel like that's really important here. Like when they do the heist in the first season, he did all 3 of those episodes, which makes a ton of sense now of why they're amazing.
Yep. So yeah, that's what we got. So, gentlemen, what'd you think of Nightcrawler?
This shit was intense. It was my first time seeing it. I had never seen it before. I had heard about it. I kind of got the vibe of, oh God, what was that old movie with Robin Williams? And he was a photographer. And
are you thinking 1 Hour Photo?
1 Hour Photo. Remember? Does anybody remember 1 Hour Photo? He would like take pictures of people.
I remember the stories about 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah, like that was based off a true story, wasn't it?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
No, because there's some stuff in it that I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a crazy.
Talk about that another time.
It kind of gave me the same vibe of like this dude. This dude was creepy though. Robin Williams was a creepy dude in that movie. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Taking pictures of people in their most intimate moments and then getting these photos developed and like all that other stuff. That's kind of what I thought this was going to be. It was not that though, but not in a bad way. Like it wasn't that in a bad way. I enjoyed it. I think Jake Gyllenhaal fucking absolutely killed this shit. He killed the role.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a very good reason he was nominated for an Oscar for this movie, and I mean it's just I saw this when it was on Netflix, so it was so this was like probably 7-ish years ago that I saw it, and so I was super pumped that our Patreon folks picked it for this review because I think it does what so many movies like fail to do, or a lot of the movies we talk about on the podcast of like it figures out its story and it doesn't add anything else. Like it's like, no, this is the story. We don't need to add in Iris West, or we don't need to have this whole other sequence that doesn't like connect to it. Like it is very much Lou is the character Jake Gyllenhaal plays. It is Lou's story and he's not a good guy, and it's uncomfortable how much it like the entire story is focused on him. And that's one of the things I love about this film is like you can't look away from all of these terrible things that he's doing. But to him, it's like he's not doing anything wrong. And I think that's one of the push and pulls of this movie that intrigues me and why I was excited to rewatch it, to be honest. And I'm glad I did, because I definitely forgot the third act, which was a lot.
This movie, you know, I'm looking through like this movie for me completely flew like under the radar. Like I didn't even know it was a thing. And I think the reason why I didn't know it was a thing, because it came out in 2014. And I am reading through like some of the movies that came out in 2014, and I'm kind of sitting here
Okay.
being like, well, no wonder I didn't fucking know that it came out, because listen to just some of like the big ones that came out in 2014. It was a crazy like year for movies.
Yeah.
The Lego movie came out in February.
Okay.
The Grand Budapest Hotel. Yeah, Jesus. Captain America: The Winter Soldier came out in 2014. Rio 2 came out in 2014. The
I never
Amazing
watched that.
Spider-Man 2 came out in 2014.
That's a good movie.
Godzilla came out. Blended came out. X-Men Days of Future Past came out.
This was Birdman too. This was
Yeah.
Birdman and Theory of Everything. Like, it was a big year.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Like, yeah, there was all sorts of shit that came out at this moment.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why for me that I never saw this originally, because there was so much other stuff happening that it just became like the redheaded stepchild of the movie of like movies. Like, it was really good, but it was just kind of fell into the background so much that it's just like I completely missed it.
Yeah.
It came out the same weekend as Birdman.
And I take it back. Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal did not get nominated for Best Actor. I take that back. I really thought he was nominated for this, which is like bonkers to me. Yeah,
play that
it is
role,
bonkers.
It was eerie because I was like texting the guys of like, well, you know me, I like to I either talk through movies or have to tweet through them or thread through them, whatever you prefer now. And I was telling them how it felt so eerie because I knew people who acted like Jake Gyllenhaal's character, like people who act like that, people who are very straightforward. You know, I like that he was not. Okay, follow me here. A lot of times you get characters like that in roles and they will blame it on like, oh, he's autistic or oh, he has low social cues. And I don't think that was the case at all with this.
No, they never define it.
Nope.
That is just who this person is.
Just straightforward, straight shooter. And I appreciated that because there was no safety net or cushion or like, oh, okay, well, we get it. It was like, no, this motherfucker's a straight shooter. He told her at that table, I want to fuck you. He said, I want to have relations. And scientifically, it's proven that he broke this shit down, had reasoning for his shit.
That's where for me, I was like, oh, there's just something wrong with him. Like, there's just, it's not like a developmental thing. He don't know people.
Not a great person. Said that. His partner said that when he was dying, he was like, you don't know people. Like, you know a lot of shit. And let me tell y'all this. Brian, hold that thought because I see you thinking.
You got it.
Let me tell y'all this. There's a lot of y'all out there, all right? Or there's a lot of us who know people who are book smart, but you ain't people smart. And that's a problem because you know everything in the book between the pages, but you don't know how to deal with people. And there's a whole bunch of people in leadership positions and roles that supervise and oversee. And there's a lot of people that have to lead the bigger picture. And there's a lot of people that you rely on and trust that don't know people, but they very book smart. But there's a difference and you need a balance of both. And in this movie, it kind of shows you that because he was willing to put anybody on the line to get to his end goal and knew exactly how to do it and position himself so much so he got away with it.
Well, and that's the thing that the scrapyard guy says to him first. He goes, why won't you hire me? Like, I'll work hard. Like, I'll even do it for free. Like in an internship. He's like, I don't hire thieves. Like, it's kind of interesting that all of these other folks were so interested in their bottom line that they looked past his feature flaws. But the guy who didn't even think about it was just like, nope, I know exactly who you are, who I think you are. Like, and completely just left him there.
And he couldn't even fight it. That was the other thing. He called him out on his bullshit. All he could do was crack a smile and leave. That's why he didn't negotiate with him. You stole all this shit. I know how you got it. Either take the deal I'm giving you or leave. And I thought that they did that well.
Yeah, I do too.
And I feel like it's kind of eerie because I feel like this was in 2014, and I promise there's a good point here. And then like 2016 happened, and I feel like that like 2016, 2017 was the year of like, wow, there's these really weird people on the internet, but like people keep listening to them. And I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal's character embodies this idea of like, well, I learned about it on the internet, so it has to be true, and that's
Mhm.
what I do.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's this basic kernel of an idea, and you even hear him say it. I think it's somewhere in like halfway through the movie. He's like, well, I went to business school online, and I read about this online,
Yep.
and this is what they said you had to do, and I'm going to do it. And there's just no critical interrogation of it. It's just, no, this is what you need to do. Like, did your business school talk to you about like not stealing stuff? Like, was that in there
It's
anywhere?
It's
You
it's
know?
it's it's facts without critical thinking. It's
Right.
like it's facts without critical thinking.
Perfect summation.
It's like if somebody said like, "Well, they say that I need to run every single day if I want to be healthy. So even if
Right.
my body hurts, I'm going to run." It's like, "Come on, man, think with your fucking head. Like you don't need to like, you know what I mean?" It's
Well,
like that I'm trying to find a best way to put it, but it's that
Yeah.
critical thinking shit that comes from the internet of like, "Well, somebody said it, so it's true, so I accepted it what it is."
and
So yeah,
Well,
great point,
and
Brian.
they put him in this system, which I think is so perfect. And obviously, we have a movies podcast, so we like topics of the media.
Films
but
in
the
black and
idea
white
that-
follow us everywhere,
Ooh, even
There
on
you go.
Threads.
even on Threads.
Yeah, Threads. I'm on
Threading
Blue
that
Sky.
needle.
I don't know. We'll talk about that later.
I didn't even do Blue Sky. That was interesting.
But
I didn't do those.
yeah, I don't know.
You
It's
had to
weird.
be invited.
But there's the TV network gives this like immediate feedback of like, oh, whatever you're doing is fine. So like he doesn't think about anything he's doing because Rene Rousseau keeps cutting him a check. So he's like, I'm doing the right thing. And it's like, do you really think it's a good idea that when someone's having like the worst day of their life, you should put a camera in their face? That's what you think you should do?
Yeah,
It also is very dangerous because that's the world that we living in now, right? You take
Sure
let me
is.
remind y'all, the internet is not a real
I
place,
think that's so interesting.
right? The internet is not a real place, right?
Not a place you could go.
It is filled with trolls. It is filled with false information. Fucking the CEO of fucking former CEO of Twitter, I guess, whatever it is now, called another competitor in his field a cuck on his website. The internet is not a real place. And so, but people get validated from if it works and they say these things and it works,
right?
And everybody gets an audience. He got exactly what he wanted.
Dude. Yes.
By doing the wrong thing. And that's a different conversation. And it's a dangerous way to go about life.
It really is. It really is. And I think that's a great point. I also think it's really interesting to watch that movie now because what's so fascinating is that you can do what he wants to do with a phone and a microphone that plugs into your charging port. Like that is all you need to do the exact same thing.
So numb. He was so numb to being in people's faces and houses.
Oh, yeah.
He was filming like I thought there was going to be a baby in that crib, and that was going to make make it a losing point for me.
Yeah,
and I think and I wish we could do an interview. I wish we could do an interview with the creative team here because I feel like that moment. I don't think the baby. So, like for folks that don't want to watch the movie and are just following the discussion, there comes a point where Jake Gyllenhaal's Lou gets a call that there's been a murder in a house, and he gets there before the cops, and he's just filming everything, victims and all, in this house that he's trespassing in. And there is a crib, and there is this moment where you're like, are they going to show me a dead baby in this movie? Like, is that going to happen? And here's the thing. The reason that is scary is because we know that Lou's going to film that no matter what. And that's what creates the fear.
And we know what he's capable of.
Right.
And he's willing to do anything to get the shot, which it makes him smart because he knew nothing was in that crib, but he was thinking ahead to know this is going to be a shot that sells because I'm going to build anticipation. And I know what, I forgot the ladies,
Rene Rousseau.
Rene Rousseau. I know what Rene Rousseau wants and what sells.
Yes.
He studied it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good little think piece if you need something for like how the world operates.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And Brian, you'll like this. So this movie was edited by Dan Gilroy's brother, John Gilroy. So John Gilroy and Dan Gilroy are like a brother combination.
What a good tag
John
team.
Gilroy has edited the following movies.
Here we
So
go.
he's been an editor on the following.
Okay.
Pacific Rim,
Yes.
Pacific Rim,
That's a win.
Rogue One, The
That's a win.
Bourne
Love it.
Legacy,
That's a win.
Nightcrawler, Suicide Squad,
That's a win.
Andor, and Salt.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love Salt.
He's
I
done
need to rewatch
a
all.
ton. He was also an editor on Billy Madison. That's fucking hilarious.
Jeez.
Wow.
So he's been an
Ledge.
editor around. Yep, and he's actually been an editor on all of the movies that his brother has worked on. So his brother
That's pretty
worked
cool.
on Velvet Buzzsaw, Roman J. Israel Esquire,
Gotcha.
Nightcrawler. So he edited all of those too. So yeah, they've he was the editor for the movie Miracle about the hockey team that won the gold
Oh
medal.
wow. Okay. Guy knows what
done
he's
a ton of
doing.
shit. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would love about the creative team. I too would love to have a conversation with them. One, to just hear about how it's like working as brothers, and then two, just the choices that they made for a lot of this.
I mean, man, and the movie's so unnerving. I mean, it's just, man, if you're in the mood for like a crime thriller, like this fits the bill.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
So watch it. It's good. It's on Max.
Yeah, if you have Max or Hulu,
It's on Max.
this is a great value. Like, this is a gem.
Yeah.
Even though I hate the title Max. I hate it.
Yeah,
I
I don't
it
like it
so
either.
much.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Marcus,
What
you
up?
had some other reviews that you wanted
Oh
to do,
yeah.
specifically pertaining to Superman. So what do you have for us today, sir?
What's up?
Yeah,
What's up with
so-
Soups?
So y'all know I don't be really watching a lot of series like that, and I'm very particular about what Superman I watch. But I
Okay.
do want to say there's a show also on Max, but it also airs on Adult Swim as well. It
Nice.
is an anime styled show. And it's
Okay.
called My Adventures with Superman, and it follows Jimmy Olsen. It follows Lois Lane and Clark Kent / Superman in these early stages at the Daily Planet. It's on Max. The first 2 episodes were up. I'm not sure when episodes drop. I usually just watch it when I see that it's on and when I have time to watch it. So, good show. I think it's a great show. I think it's a great representation. It's already been ordered for season 2.
Ooh, awesome.
Nice.
And the voice acting, the voice cast is incredible. I'm giving a real brief review here, but let me tell you something. I think that this tone is what's been missing from Superman this entire time.
What's that?
I appreciate Zack Snyder's serious tone, but I think that this TV show is going to be a reflection of what James Gunn wants his Superman to feel like. And it's very hopeful. It's light.
Okay.
It's a young
Yes.
Superman figuring it out, and he's filled with charisma. He cleans up after himself in a battle. He cares about Metropolis. He's this farm boy. There's a badass. His Jor-El is almost as badass as oh god, who played Jor-El in Zack Snyder's Justice League?
You're talking
Russell
Superman's
Crowe.
dad?
Russell Crowe. You know how he was
and a
badass?
skinny Russell Crowe.
Skinny, long hair Russell Crowe, who was kicking ass. He was like diving and riding dragons at the beginning of Man of Steel.
He
right?
was.
He was badass. This Jor-El has an eye patch and a long flowing hair, and he ain't fucking around. You know what I mean? Like,
He's
and
not
it's just
fucking around.
written very differently. Superman Clark doesn't have all of his powers yet. He's trying to figure this shit out.
Cool.
I enjoy it a lot. I think it's a good watch.
Okay.
It's a good watch. So it's on Max, so I recommend whatever, you know.
So I saw some of the other commentary online, and one of my questions about this show is: do you feel like somebody was a fan of anime and was like, "Hey, what if we did Superman?" Is that kind of the vibe of the show, or is it just more of an anime style in the visual respect?
I think it's both, because
okay,
the ending scenes when the credit rolls has an anime style ending scene, them walking, the rolling credits, and like the moving pictures. I watched episode 2 twice, so it also introduces like Deathstroke before Deathstroke is Deathstroke, and it introduces a light introduction to Amanda Waller, and who I assume is going to be General Lane and Livewire, and so I think that it has anime styling, but it is lighthearted like an anime, but then the action sequences can be a little intense.
Sure.
It's quick. It's fast.
Right.
It's like Dragon Ball Z-ish. But
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
to the same level.
that sounds perfect for Superman.
Mhm.
Like that sounds
really
like a
does.
very good equation to
Yeah.
me.
It reminds me a lot one of the things that I really enjoyed watching last year, which I feel like wasn't talked about enough, was the Star Wars
Oh, Visions.
Visions season
Yes.
1. I never got a chance to see season 2.
Oh,
It was so
man.
good.
The animation style does a lot for the way that the story is told for a lot of projects.
Yes.
And I think that that's it's like Clone Wars for me, like the cartoon Clone Wars
Yeah.
that I grew up
Yep.
with before they go, I don't even know what that's called, 3D ish model. I don't know.
Well, then the Rebels did a weird. I shouldn't say that. The visual style in Rebels is not for me,
Mhm.
but yeah, like
And then-
they
yes.
changed it.
And I liked cartoon Anakin Clone Wars because the way that they move and the way that they use their powers, it looks significantly different. I think that's what they did here. So I enjoyed
Right.
my adventures with Superman, man.
Good. Look at that.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I know
was
how
good.
important that is to you, so I'm glad it's been something.
Yeah.
And
I know. Yeah.
happy birthday to Joe Shuster, one of the co-creators of Superman. Today is his birthday. You have delivered a character that is timeless and powerful and a hopeful character and that will live on. And it means so much to me personally, like in ways that I can't even explain why it means so much. But, this symbol that is all behind me is legitimately a symbol of hope. So shout out to Joe Shuster just for providing a simple point of relief and hope, even if it is through like a comic book character. You know what I mean? Like that means a lot. So happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
For
Wonderfully said,
sure.
Marcus.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Gentlemen, there has
Hello.
been a huge announcement today.
What?
A huge
Another one?
reveal, if you will.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it is
really?
pertaining to Deadpool 3. Now,
is.
we got some I'm gonna weave a tale, if you will,
Okay.
of
All right.
how we got to this point in time. So it was announced a little while ago, maybe even last year. It was announced that Hugh Jackman is going to appear in Deadpool 3, and there are going to be some fight scenes between Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool and Hugh
What?
Jackman's
No way.
Wolverine. And we are finally getting some set photos from that particular piece of work. And gentlemen, they did it. They pulled it off. 23 years in the making, we finally get to see Wolverine in his yellow and blue
Amazing.
X-Men suit.
Thank you.
And I believe,
Oh.
Marcus, you have
Oh,
images,
beautiful.
which is outstanding, because that's what I was trying to do
Beautiful.
while you were talking about Superman.
Oh my gosh. Oh
So,
wow.
which
Oh,
I'm
wow,
very
these are
excited
some
about.
new
So there you
set
go.
photos. Oh
And
wow.
those, I'm so glad you included
Jesus.
those, because this weaves a web. So let's just first go here. This is the first one. So for those watching, and you can find this anywhere. Just Google Deadpool
We'll upload it
3.
on our socials too.
Yeah, even on Threads. We'll put it there too. So, but you can see it. Like, this is him in his full yellow and blue Wolverine suit. Now, gentlemen,
Yes.
thoughts, knee-jerk reactions to the suit. Marcus.
No, this is good.
Okay.
This is good.
Yeah. Yuck is yum. Come on.
I'm
yuck
going to
is yum.
start with Deadpool. I love that they went a redder
Yuck it.
suit for Deadpool. It was Deadpool already had the perfect suit. All they did really was enhance it. Also, to the dumbass who tweeted, it's been so long, and after this is the best picture, and this one picture is better than anything the MCU has produced.
No.
Fucker, the MCU
No.
is producing this too. So can you shut the fuck up?
Yeah,
Y'all just be
remember,
tweeting and saying anything.
Remember, Disney bought Fox. So
That's incredible.
They own all
That's
of it.
incredible.
Yeah.
Y'all just be saying whatever the fuck.
Wow,
Y'all just don't even think.
Yeah.
Anyway, first reaction. I don't know. I love the suit. I love that he's in yellow. I don't know if we'll get the mask because that may be too much, or he may rip that shit off in the first 5 minutes he wears
Agreed.
it. I think I would love to go without. I would go all red belt, more red in the belt, across, and rip the sleeves off because he has arms that are incredible. So I would go Wolverine in the X-Men style versus the sleeves, but I'm not upset with this suit at all.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
Brian?
You said it best, Doug. I've been waiting for this for 23 years. Like when I saw X-Men in 2000, this is the outfit I thought I was gonna get, like straight up yellow
That's
with
true.
blue accents,
All black
and instead I got a black leather onesie for
with the
Wolverine,
yellow lines in it.
which is, I mean, okay for the moment. Honestly,
It
the
was
thing I get hyped
fine.
about is that you have the straight up X-Men symbol on his belt, and you have like the 90s inspired wrist gauntlet things where
Yes.
like his, you know, like where his blades come out of his hand. So I mean, I just this image makes my heart sing. It feels like my Wolverine. Like as dumb as that sounds, like it
Nope, it does
honestly
not
truly
sound dumb.
feels like, oh, someone got it right. Like someone figured
This
out.
suit looks good
like,
here.
I mean, I always thought the Wolverine suit could work. Like you have to kind of embrace the comic bookness of Wolverine anyway. So I was always surprised when they put him in black or like no shirt or just a black jacket. Like this guy has
or
knives coming out of his
leather
hand.
pants, no shirt, like is in
Yeah.
like Origins.
Yeah.
But you know what I like about this is that they I like the style that they did with it because they did a good job of having Wolverine suit complement Deadpool suit, because Deadpool suit is very tactical with color, and they did the same thing with Wolverine suit where it's tactical but with color. So like I really appreciated the fact that they didn't make it like, it doesn't look super leathery. It looks like it's made of Kevlar and some harder plastic. So I like it's not like I just made a leather yellow suit. Like that to me that would have been doing half the job. So I appreciate the fact that they did it this way.
Here's what I want to say too about the suit. I don't think there was any excuse maybe 5 years ago when we got X-Men Origins Wolverine, like that suit tease at the end of on the jet. I think they could have done the
brown suit.
That was
suit.
the
I think that would be
Wolverine.
The Wolverine. That was the Wolverine. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right.
No, they all run together.
Where he fights Silver Samurai.
Yep, and they pull all the adamantium out of his body. Now, what I will say, I do think costumes and materials and things have come a long way since X1, X2, maybe, because back then leather was in. Now they don't seem to be using the leather route. They seem to go with whatever is more flexible with these superhero designs, if it's not a CGI suit design.
Right.
And I do like this look. I like that you have a yellow suit that's loud, but it's still a little dirty, and it's not bright yellow. It's not this blaring highlighter suit. It's got some dirt, some gruff. It's got, it's a little dark in places, so it doesn't pop out as much. So I enjoy that.
And it's clear it's clear he's part of a team. Like it to me, you look at this suit and he's like, you're like, oh, where are the other people? Like clearly this is part of a team suit, That's, I don't know. That's the thing that stands out to me too.
Do we want to talk about the rumors of all the people that are supposed to be coming back?
I think we should. So give us a rundown of those rumors.
So I'm gonna go off the top of my head if somebody wants to look up, but here's some of the ones that I've heard about. Elektra is supposed to be coming back. It's rumored that Jennifer Aniston. Nope.
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner. Sorry. Who's, by the way, Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck's daughter looks so much like Jennifer Garner. It is ridiculous. Like his genes didn't even fight back. Like she looks just like her. Don't look nothing like him. I think that's incredible.
Photo. That's hilarious.
Oh my God. She's supposed to be coming back as Elektra. Ben Affleck is rumored to have been on the set of Deadpool and is supposed to be coming back as Daredevil in the movie. I don't know how they're gonna do that with two divorced people, but maybe money speaks louder.
As a quick note, apparently they're on very good terms. Like apparently Jennifer Garner took everybody's kids, including one of J-Lo's kids, to Six Flags like the other month, and somebody got pictures. So she seems like a real one.
That's nice.
Like she seems like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like you like I don't know. Like that's awesome. Like that takes a big person to do that.
I agree, and I love it when people can do that shit. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are supposed to come back too as well, in their respective roles as Professor X and Magneto. It is also supposed to be rumored that the Scarlet Witch from the MCU is the daughter of Magneto from not Ian McKellen's
First
Magneto,
Class.
from First Class Magneto. That's
Oh,
supposed to be his
man.
daughter. That's just a rumor,
Fassbender. Okay.
but you know the MCU is gonna want to connect the dots. Owen Wilson's Mobius is supposed to be in this.
Yep.
Oh my
and
gosh.
who it's they also said Halle Berry and Cyclops, $5 haircut, and
Marsden. James Marsden.
and
I
the
love
Phoenix.
the $5. You just made my
Oh,
fucking
Famke
day.
Jameson?
$5 haircut.
I knew you'd love that shit.
Fucking
Yes,
made my day.
yes, she's supposed to be coming back too as well. So those are the ones I've heard.
There's
Honestly, go
also
ahead, Doug.
there's a couple other. Sorry, I'm pulling this from the Marvel Cinematic Universe fandom.
Oh, nice.
So and they have a whole timeline of who announced.
Oh my gosh.
So Karan Sony and Leslie Uggams will be coming back as Dao Pinder and Athea Blind Al.
Okay.
Rasputin Colossus will be coming back from the previous Deadpool movies.
Good.
Rob Delaney's coming back as Peter. Remember from the second one?
Owner.
Brianna Hildebrand will be coming back as Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Love that.
Yukio's gonna be in it.
Oh, she made it back.
Yep, and then Jennifer Garner is come back as she's the last one to have been like confirmed at this point in time.
Deadpool, is this Deadpool kills the MCU, or is it like, what is it? They're like multiverses and sham. Like, obviously this is going to connect to something. What is it?
I feel like this is I don't know. I have two ideas here. One, I think it's a way for the MCU to poke fun at itself, and they're gonna do no holds barred, and I think they're gonna make fun of the multiverse while also being like, he's a part of the multiverse. My second idea is that this movie could totally pull a Flash and be like a custodian a little bit, and could be the lampshade that bridges the two, like the Fox properties and the MCU stuff. Like, and I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, there isn't a good way to be like, where's Wolverine been? He's kind of a big deal. And it could be one of these things where they're like, look, Deadpool's going to do it. Deadpool's going to bridge everything. It's not going to have all your answers, but Deadpool's going to do the work of how everybody shows up in the MCU. Like, I feel like that's something they could easily do here.
Yeah.
From an audience perspective too, which I think is important. It's not the one-liner MCU, we got to work it into this thing. It's a, what the fuck is going on?
Yes.
Oh, that's what. No, he's going to look to the camera and say, hey, motherfuckers, this Wolverine is from a different dimension, but he's not staying. Don't get comfortable.
That 100%.
Shut the hell up and just take it.
Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yep. Yeah. There was also a comic book that was teased in the announcement, and that's why I've been oddly quiet. Is like, I'm trying to find like so Wolverine Volume 7 number 21. This comic is where he joins forces with Deadpool and travels through time. So
that sounds so
Wolverine
much fun.
Wolverine Volume 7 number 21 is really what that is going to be about. So I have a feeling that it's going to parallel that a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a better like a good image of it.
Is this the same Wolverine that died in Logan, or do you think this is another Wolverine from the multiverse?
I'm totally in on multiverse. Like, I don't think, because Logan ends so well, I don't think they want to mess with anything of that. Also, I feel like the yellow suit to me is communicating like, no, this Wolverine is from somewhere else where he wore the yellow suit all the time.
I think
like that's kind of what it's giving me. At least.
I think so too.
Yep.
Sure.
So the really quick synopsis of Wolverine Volume 7, number 21 is outnumbered and surrounded. Wolverine unleashes his berserker rage, and Deadpool embraces embraces his deadly fighting skills in a last-ditch effort to save mutant lives. But what's with all the robotic X-Men, and what do they have to do with the X-Desk? So, like, that is what it's about. So I have a feeling that there's going to be some of these people that are coming back that we might see, including Elektra and others, could either be alternative versions or they're straight up robots. Like, so there is a piece of this that you could go with it if you wanted to go like that route. So there are ways that you could do this in terms of like there are ways, and this is really weird. Just really quickly, it's really weird because the danger room becomes a sentient thing. Like
It
that's
sure
the-
does.
So, and it's the villain's name is just Danger. Like that's what happens when the danger room becomes sentient. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a shot for shot. We're just not doing that
No.
these days where it's shot for shot. My guess is, and especially based off of this video, this
The
picture.
20th Century Fox.
Oh my
logo on the back.
gosh.
Yeah.
So
That's
what?
the oh my
if you
gosh,
have not
yeah.
seen this, if you're not watching us, this is the 20th Century Fox logo is like in crumbles,
Mhm.
and in
It's
the
like
background,
a ruin. Yeah.
yes, like a ruin. So they could be doing something similar where all of these, it could be kind of Loki-esque,
Yeah.
where
The TCA is involved.
the TVA is definitely involved for sure. And it could be that similar because remember, like back in Loki, there was this world where all of the like the folks that got purged, or what
That's
were they?
right.
What
They
were
had
they
like
called?
oh my gosh,
Pruned. Every time they got
variants.
a variant
Pruned.
got pruned, they got sent to this like island of misfit toys. So maybe because Fox doesn't use those properties, maybe those got.
Yeah.
Maybe the joke is because it's Deadpool that Disney decided to prune those universes,
That would be good.
which would be really
would
fucking
be
funny.
good.
Like,
That would be
so
funny.
I think that maybe is a route that they could be going with it. But either way, this made me really jazzed and excited for like what we're seeing here overall.
I
I
agree.
mean, I'm excited for something not to take itself like super seriously, and I feel like Deadpool does
Yeah.
a good job of always making the stakes like not low, but it's like, you know why we're here. I know why you're here. Deadpool breaking the fourth wall, and like I'm ready for that type of experience. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
I am nervous with the writer strike though, because
Yep.
with the strict rules of the writer strike, you have to do whatever it is you had written. You can't ad lib apparently, and that's
Right.
where Ryan Reynolds really shines, right? I don't know how much that will affect this movie, knowing that Ryan Reynolds can't do that.
Yeah.
but
There's gotta be a clause in there for true improv. Like
I
there
know.
has to be a because there are so many comedians and actors who and from listening to and just as a deep dive, like I've been listening to a lot of like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And they talk a lot about how each episode is made, and they'll ask each other, like they will watch a scene and then they'll go like, was that written or did I improv that? Like they don't even remember
Got it, right.
in the moment.
Mhm.
And it's like, no, I think you improv that in the moment. Like,
Yeah.
so there has to be a clause somewhere in this
Well,
agreement that's like, if you're
I would
just
hope
riffing
so.
and not right, I would hope so. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to write new material, but if he and Hugh Jackman are going back and forth and he introduces like a quippy line because he's good at it,
Mhm.
you can't handcuff the man.
The other thing here too that's confusing is that there was like 2 or 3 reports that were like Deadpool has wrapped filming, and it was like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah,
no,
what?
there's no way, they just started. So I
do
have a
remember
theory.
That. That's a good point.
I have a theory that maybe they filmed all the dialogue heavy stuff before the strike went into effect.
Mhm.
I can see
And
that.
now they're just gonna do all the
Action
action sequences or stunt stuff. That is a theory based on some rumors that I saw on the
Mhm.
internet. So take that for what you will. But I guess if I was in that position, I would say anything that's dialogue heavy, anything we got to have writers for, we're doing now, and then we'll just take whatever dialogue we have for the action scenes.
Because
and
you
do
have
that.
to know, they would have to know that the strike was coming. So
Right.
you want to get
100%.
ahead of it first and say the writers who obviously maybe care about the movie would say, no, we care about this movie. We care about what it is. We care about the success of it. Let's go ahead and do this first
right.
before the strike. And then you know, afterwards we'll just do the rest. I could see that too, Brian. That's a good point.
Yeah.
These-
And I mean, there's reshoots and stuff too, which can get tricky, but that's what I would do if I was in that position.
There's a different strike we have to be worried about, and
Yeah.
there's
Good
a
segue.
potential. There is a thank you. There is a potential actors strike that, if anything's going to impact this at all, that could be particularly impactful.
that's
because
soon.
It's tomorrow. It's
Yes.
Wednesday.
Is
Yes.
it really?
They said
Yeah,
that
when this
Wednesday.
when this podcast drops on Wednesday, you will know whether or not you will know whether or not there was an actual strike. So according to the USA Today, which is not a great source, but it is what I have.
That's all right.
According to the USA Today, actors in Hollywood have agreed to a 12-day contract extension as talks continue. So they're going to stay on the job. They will keep working and they're going to continue to work under an agreed upon media blackout. It's the SAG-AFTRA strike. It's the SAG-AFTRA group is the one that's is basically kind of like is involved in this. And basically what they're asking for is they want increased base compensation, which has been undercut by streaming and inflation.
Heck yeah.
And then regulated use of artificial intelligence and better benefit plans and money for, quote, self-taped auditions, which used to be on the responsibility of the actor to put together. But then there was no ever like compensation. It's like, hey, film us an audition and send it to us. Are you going to send me a camera crew? Nope. Good luck. Have fun. Let us know if you need help. So some of the folks that are represented and a part of this particular guild are Meryl Streep and Jennifer Lawrence were two that were mentioned in this article. But if they don't go, it basically means that TV sets and studios will be completely delayed. So Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning 2 won't come out, will be delayed. No one will go to San Diego Comic-Con, which is a big problem for San Diego Comic-Con for many other reasons.
Can I insert a quick comment here?
Please.
So Marvel announced that they were not going to be doing Hall H or anything like that a few weeks ago, and people were like, oh my gosh, you have all these movies coming out, and people are like, oh, it's because of the writer's strike probably. And now I feel like I think this is going to happen. I'm just going to call it.
Happen.
And I think Marvel was like, we're not going to go to Hall H when we can't even get the base talent there. Like, what are we going to do? Just go there and be like, this movie's happening. Woo! I have nothing to show you. I have no one to show you. Thanks.
I'm hopeful, Brian. I'm hopeful that that's not the case. I think you're probably right. I'm hopeful that that's not the case.
Sure.
And I'm hopeful that it's just Bob Iger had us announcing 300 things. No, Bob Chapek had us announcing 30 things at Hall H for the past 4 years.
Right.
We're taking one off so we can reorganize and restructure. I hope that's the case. I have a feeling you're right, though.
I think two things can exist. And I think because Bob Chapek's bullshit, I think also the actors making the decision that no, we're not going to do it, right? And Marvel realized. Here's the thing: when we hear about news, it's old news because the actors and I feel like the network of actors and writers is a different type of communication circle where they know that shit is coming up soon because they have to plan ahead. They have to plan for their schedules and the movies and the scripts and these things that they're doing. They knew about this well before we started hearing about it and how it picked up speed. And so I think Marvel had to prepare themselves. Also, what does Marvel have to promote? Because if I go to Hall H, the first questions I'm going to have is, all right, Jonathan Majors. Okay. What else you got outside of that? Like, what's the next movie? Like, what's happening?
Right.
You guys, this is the previous strike news adjacent. So according to Polygon, here's a summary of the folks that are in and out of Hall H, or here and out of San Diego Comic-Con. Here's the big folks. Out. Disney, Marvel, and Lucasfilm specifically.
Jesus.
So all of Marvel, all of Lucasfilm, and here are their upcoming projects that they're just not going to talk about at San Diego Comic-Con. Star Wars Skeleton Crew, Blade, Fantastic Four, Ahsoka, Loki Season 2, the X-Men reboot, Thunderbolts, The Marvels, Echo, Agatha Covenant Chaos, Daredevil, Ironheart, Deadpool 3, Captain America, Brave New World. And remember, we have set photos from all of these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we have set photos from Captain America, Brave New World. We know that they have shit that they could show if they wanted to.
Right.
They're just not. Out.
You do got a lot to promote. I was wrong.
Out. HBO. HBO is not going to have anything there.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon Season 2, Last of Us, they could talk
No.
about if they're going to do
I
anything and
mean,
make an
all of their
announcement.
DC stuff they could talk about too.
Max, however, is in. They will be there.
Oh,
They will be in there
course they're
talking
in.
specifically about Velma season 2, 10-year-old Tom, Young Love, whatever the fuck this is. I don't know what any of this is.
I think that might
I
sum
don't know.
up Comic-Con.
I don't know what any of this is. Yeah. Because here we go. Sony Pictures out. They are not going to talk about Gran Turismo. They're not going to talk about Kraven the Hunter. We have a trailer for Kraven the Hunter. Like Gran Turismo out. Kraven the Hunter not talking about. Ghostbusters Afterlife 2, Madam Web, and Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. They are not going to talk about that because they're not going to be there. Universal Pictures not going to be there.
You know what's funny?
Netflix not going to be there.
I mean, I feel like the writing's on the wall here.
Warner Brothers, they're going to be there. They're going to talk about Superman, The Brave and the Bold, The Authority, Swamp Thing, Dune Part 2, The Batman Part 2, Paramount Pictures. They're going to be there to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. And then there's a bunch of folks who are undecided. So like NBC Peacock, they might be there. But if they do, they only have two things to really talk about, which are the Continental, don't know what that is, and then the Community movie. I don't know.
The Continental is the John Wick spinoff.
John Wick.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then Amazon might be there to talk about Wheel of Time, Lord of the Rings of Power Season 2. Jesus, they are doing all video games. Lord of the Rings, God of War, Fallout. Those are projects that they have. And then undecided Apple TV Plus.
I love how WB is panhandling. Like they are essentially like desperate for money. They are either trying to strike on the opportunity or they are so desperate they say, yeah, fuck that writer strike.
Hey, you guys got any you got any of those places you can announce that shit?
Yeah. I'll take a little crack if you got some.
Hey, these folks.
You got somewhere I can set up a table? No, don't walk away. I got a family. I'd like to talk about Superman. Please. Please. I'm going to be sucking dick to talk about Superman.
Jeez. I got James Gunn here. He'll talk to you about DC. Hey, do you want to talk to him in this hotel room or
James
bar?
Can watch. James can watch.
Oh, God.
James can watch. Got any of that kryptonite?
I think it's funny some people are undecided and it's July 20th. Like as of recording, that's 10 days from now.
Y'all, it's bonkers. It's next week Wednesday. Like that fucking thing is happening.
I don't understand. Man, I'm glad I'm not in that position. Like I'm looking at the date here and it's just like you don't know if you're going. Anyway, yeah, I was wrong about the DC stuff. I thought they were going to go.
That's the equivalent of having a wedding and being like, I might get a tux. I don't know. Like, when is it? Saturday. You haven't reserved your tux? I might. I don't know.
Doug said,
yeah,
I'll show you
I know.
Yep. I said, let me say it again. I suck your dick to talk about Superman.
No.
Just please let me look at it. You can look at mine.
On Joe Schuster's birthday. That's incredible.
That's cursed.
I said that on the creator's birthday. Yes, I did. I did say that.
You know, I ain't got nothing else to say.
Roman wants to hear more about Kraven the Hunter.
I want to hear more about Kraven the Hunter, but I also want to hear more about this Spider-Man-less universe. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
I mean, they have a universe. They needed to build one.
So I know, but
they got Venom and Morbius.
Like, at least make one of the villains a good guy, and then they all want to, you know what I mean? But like, y'all ain't even gonna do that.
Yeah, this is like a backwards, like the villains are heroes, the heroes are villains. This is perfect. It reminds me of that, Brian, you'll appreciate this. It reminds me of that episode of Arrested Development where where Tobias is directing the play and he's getting all the men to play women and women to play men. Yeah. And people are like, oh my God, he's playing a woman. Like it's just it feels like someone is walking around going like,
yep,
he's playing the villain is a hero. Like, stick 100%. With me. It's 100%. Just insanity.
Yes. So. Yes. I mean, yeah, I guess I'd hear more about Kraven. I'd love to hear Aaron Taylor Johnson just be like, yeah,
Yeah,
here's my
and
take on it.
that's-
Hey, I'm just a
and-
handsome motherfucker who's also part wolf, and like,
and that's
you know,
where, and that's when the lion's DNA gave me superpowers.
Right. I
Uh,
just
or an
yeah,
STD or a jungle STD.
I
oh,
mean,
come on.
maybe
It was the
but
lion's
probably
birthday
not.
in that movie.
No, the fuck it wasn't. The lion's birthday. Damn that lion.
Fuck that lion.
Man.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I would believe. So that's the thing. So many big ones are out that you could be right, Brian. You are more than likely right that the
mean-
actors aren't going to be there, but that's a lot of people to be out,
I-
right? Like that's a lot of people for it to be.
Time to get back to the comic and Comic-Con. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
you
for
just
yeah.
gotta- like, honestly, I
Well-
remember the times when it wasn't this and it wasn't a
Mhm.
star-studded event. You know what I mean? And now maybe it's time to just get back to that until people get their shit together.
Well,
I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say, to be honest with you, like as much as we make fun of Warner Brothers for giving a backhanded lefty just to be there, they probably have the best likelihood at.
A backhanded what?
I don't want to focus on it. That's not
How
what
did
I was
you-
trying to say.
How do you get there?
It's just you go around. You go around.
Did you just do it?
around.
Oh,
You go around, or you're not looking at him because you're embarrassed. Like I don't want to look at you, but I want to make you happy. Like I don't know what it is. Marcus just left. He straight up left. He asked. That's the thing. You saw him. You heard him, Brian. He asked. He said, "How does that even work?" And then I give him a demonstration that I didn't mean to give. And now I'm the one who ruined the podcast. I'm the one who ruined the episode.
I thought you were talking about hitting somebody.
Oh no, Brian. No, I'm not. I'm not
Brian,
talking about hitting
Brian,
someone.
he put his hand in front of the thing and made the most.
You asked.
You didn't
You
see
said,
that?
"How does that even work?" Like, what do you want me to do?
That doesn't
I'm a
mean
visual person.
you wrapped around and did the motion to
No,
the camera.
I talk with my hands. How was I going to describe it?
That is disgusting.
How was I going to describe it?
I can't believe you did that.
Let's get back to the point I was trying to make. And the point I was trying
You just
to
gave
make.
the air a backhanded lefty, and we just supposed to move on.
Yeah. Yeah, I say things all the time. Yes. So anyway, we all know how WB was given a backhanded lefty to even be at Comic-Con. They could be the one. They could be the ones to benefit the most. There's no one else to compete with. James Gunn will have everybody's undivided attention. So, you know,
I'm
lights are on
speechless.
him. The
I
lights
forgot
are-
what we was talking about, man. Come on, let's just move on. Let's
Well, what else do we have? I don't want to end
we done
with
turned
backhanded
WB
lefty.
and DC into a dick sucking desperate person who giving out handies for free to show off Superman. What point? Where did we get here?
They did it. They did it to themselves.
God.
They did it to themselves.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, this podcast is unhinged, and that's
if you're looking
fine.
for fire flavors and wings and things, thelovenerds.com it's just a fantastic website to see what Maggie Roush is up to.
I love that it's just a casual pivot. Like I am exhausted. Yeah, let me tell you about. Look, fuck. There's a mantra. Follow it. Never offended. Always humble. Merch, music. Yep. Okay, get me out of here. Like it's just what this is at this point.
That was intense.
Gentlemen, anything you all would like to plug on this week's episode of?
I
Films
mean,
and-
Marcus already gave me some runway. Yeah, go check out thelovenerds.com. My wife runs a business.
that's now
on the
associated with this podcast.
No, it's not. Also, let me say this: if you made it this far and you listening, kudos to you. But
Yeah,
go back
you-
and listen to the last 15 minutes of the previous episode, and you will be in disarray. We end up at this point, at this mark of every hour,
Every
of every
episode.
podcast,
Every episode.
It goes left
True.
quickly.
We get
It's
to
like
one.
true.
We get to that like it says the
Oh.
clock says 1:31, and like a werewolf to a full moon, we just turn into monsters.
Like we just crossed the
Dangerous.
Rubicon. There's no
Dangerous.
going
Yeah.
back.
The Star
We
Wars
should-
sex toys, I couldn't even post on TikTok. I was just like, we might get flagged for this shit because I just don't. I don't
Yeah.
think we can post.
We
it.
certainly can't talk about what I talked about, and I don't even remember why I wasn't even thinking. I was just trying to describe it. So
I'm definitely posting that. So good luck
Well,
on Threads.
hold on. Wait a minute.
Good luck. Anyway, thelovenerds.com.
Yeah,
Doug,
go check out that
Doug-
website. Go support my wife and everything she puts up with. I love it. Okay, that's all. Thanks.
How did Doug lose his job? Well, that video went straight up viral, and we can't trust him anymore. Like, that's just where it is.
So
Marcus,
that is
you have
crazy.
anything you'd like to plug?
Follow the mantra, never offended, always humble, and don't do what Doug did. Next.
I'd like to plug this podcast.
This is
If you've made it to this point and you're listening to the plugs, sign up for the Patreon. I don't know
Yes,
what we're gonna
please.
do. Maybe we'll make up a discount code, because if you listen to the end of this shit and the discount code this week will be Backhanded Lefty, because you made it this far.
It's also the
You
name of the
earned it.
episode, so good luck.
No. Oh no.
I don't know. If well,
Yeah.
by itself, out of context, I don't know. We'll find
Backhanded
out.
lefty era.
Oh God, gee, yeah, that's gonna be a thing. But yeah, seriously, if you like this episode, if you like this podcast, I can't even tell you to tell a friend, because what if you make it here? Like,
You know
like
what you signed up for. You know exactly
Okay,
what you
look.
signed up for.
your friends know who you are. If you made it this far in the episode, don't give them a warning. Just tell them to listen to the last 10 minutes.
Roman.
Roman is a true. Oh my
He is.
gosh, true
Roman,
believer.
we've turned into the 90-minute monster at this point in time, so I don't think we have any way to
The
determine what.
90-minute monster. That's
I
what they
think
called me in high school.
Jesus Christ! All right, look, we got a 3-step. Hey, Brian, what's that first step, man?
Oh God.
I'm here to tell you to read a book. Read a book. I read a book. I usually have something better for this, but it went left real hard. Look, read a book, because you might find that you really like a Romeo and Juliet story set upon a multiverse time war. You just never know. Go read new books. It might be your new favorite book.
Really read. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good ones. Hey, drink some water. Especially if you're laughing like this. Just take care of yourself, and that's it. Drink some water. Your body will thank you. God help us. Step 3.
Listen, if you're gonna get a backhanded lefty, wash your ass. Because if I gotta reap around and ratch around to
Yeah.
give it, I don't want to be smelling you. on the way there.
Like, no.
It's like, oh God, this is disgusting.
Brian's gonna. Brian, I'll wait for your letter of resignation at films in
It's-
black white at
it's-
Gmail.
It's a hard pass. It's a hard pass for me, but I'm not judging anyone.
Okay.
Okay,
You thought the
It's
Taylor
a hard
Swift shit-
pass for
You
me.
thought Taylor Swift was going to be the reason Brian left. It's really
Nope. It's been the last 15 minutes
yeah.
of both episodes.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
that's that's it.
We're really
That's it.
pushing our limits with Brian here.
No, I'm good. It's not just because it's not for me. It doesn't mean that
You don't want to yuck. You don't want to yuck.
enjoy
somebody's yum.
it.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. And also brought to you by MILFs. That does it for this week's episode of Films in
Oh.
Black and White. We're gonna be Roman. This
This
podcast
podcast donates to charity. We do. We donate.
We do.
and
We
talk
do
about
donate
the
to
social
charity.
causes that you care about, and also we talk about sex toys and backhanded lefties.
That's true. We are a jack of all trades.
Now, backhanded lefty doesn't sound like what I think it does, because to me it sounds like you are backhanding it with your left hand.
No,
I thought you hit
don't wanna
somebody
look
with
at
your
it.
hand.
You don't want to look at
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You don't wanna
Not
look
what
at
you-
it.
you wanna-
Pinky,
it's a look away. It's
it's
a no
pink-
look pass.
It's pinky first, gentlemen. Pinky
What?
first.
It's what?
Just Okay, let's wrap this up. I need to wrap it up.
It's what? It's pinky first. Yo, that's this. All right. Anyway,
All
thanks
right.
for coming to another episode of Films in Black and White. I'm black, they white. That's all we got, man. Listen, we'll see y'all next week. Next week we're gonna be talking about something. Find out when we get here.
Something.
Goodbye. Doug said pinky first, like I'm sipping tea or some shit like that.
I don't.